What's up guys, my name is Brandon. Welcome to Quick Flicks. Today we are covering the third installment in the franchise, The Purge Election Year, directed by James DeMonaco, releasing in 2016. The Purge Election Year picks up 20 years later, after the Purge Anarchy, with the United States in turmoil over the Purge. Ish is really hitting the fan, and the people of America only have one hope, being the presidential candidate Senator Charlie Roan, who promises to abolish the annual purge should she win the election. Will she win? Will the NFFA retain power and continue the annual purge? Find out right the heck now, and let's hop into the movie. The movie opens up to give up the funk with a scary looking man tormenting a tied up family. With lots of blood everywhere, the man decides to wrap up the night with a purge game. He demands the mother of the family pick one lucky winner to survive the night, while the rest of them die. We then jump 18 years later in the year 2040, where several riots are going down when it becomes known that the new founding fathers of America, aka the NFFA, are using the purge for their own economic benefit. Dante Bishop, the stranger from the first two films, speaks out on how for the past 20 years, the NFFA has taken to legalized murder to decrease the poor population, which in turn keeps government spending down. Less welfare, less healthcare, less housing. Due to this groundbreaking news, recent polling suggests that the growing anti-purge sentiment will have a monumental effect on the upcoming presidential election, as NFFA candidate Minister Edwidge Owens has been losing ground to an anti-purge candidate, Senator Charlie Roan. It's disclosed that Senator Charlie Roan was the sole survivor that one purge night, and watched the brutal execution of her entire family, thus making her strongly anti-purge ever since. If victorious in the upcoming election, her first executive order will be to abolish the annual holiday for good, with Senator Charlie Roan being the greatest threat to the NFFA since they took office 25 years ago. They ain't looking too happy, and will do whatever it takes to ensure they keep complete control. While the two candidates debate over the purge, we catch back up with Leo, who is now Senator Charlie Roan's head security, alongside his partner Eric and Chief Cooper. Leo is aging well, looking exactly the same as he did in Anarchy 18 years ago. Anyway, watching the debate is local deli owner Joe, his sidekick employee Marcos, and a daughter-like girl who grew up in the neighborhood, Lainey. Lainey is played by Betty Gabriel, who you may recognize from Unfriended the Dark Web as Nari and Get Out as Georgina. They are all anti-purge and strongly pulling for Senator Roan to win this election. Joe gets interrupted by his insurance company, calling to let him know that they raised his purge rates, angering him quite a bit as he can't afford to pay it. He declares to protect the deli himself, as it's all he has, and doesn't want punks like these candy-stealing thieves, named Kimmy and her friend who has no name, raiding his store during the purge. They refuse to give the candy up, until Lainey, aka OG Queen BA, aka Pequeña Muerte, shows up, surprising these girls, as she's known around the hood for being a BA. Lainey, being their hero, makes them back down, return the candy, and get on out of there. We then jump to one day away from the annual purge, where the NFFA announces the revocation of the rule, exempting government officials of ranking 10 from the purge, meaning anyone can kill Senator Roan and face no repercussions. Though Leo notes, it's obvious the NFFA just wants an easy out, since if Senator Roan is killed, they will remain in power. He plans to have her stay in a secure bunker the entire night to ensure her safety. However, Senator Roan wants the citizens to relate to her, and believes that staying home is the best way to connect with them, rather than hiding in a bunker like some rich a-hole. Her words, not mine. Although Leo disagrees, as it's way too risky, he obliges and secures her house with numerous guards, barricades, and security systems, all just in time for Purge Night. With snipers, guards, barricades, and all sorts of other protection, things are looking good and safe for Leo and Senator Roan. After the famous emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of the annual purge plays, they take some time to relax and talk about their backstories. Leo opens up and reveals what happened to his son, and how he almost made a mistake killing the man responsible for his son's death 18 years ago. He believes in the senator's mission to get rid of the holiday, and thus he became her security guard. Meanwhile, Joe is setting up shop on the roof of his deli, when Marcos comes from behind, scaring the daylights out of him. Despite Joe telling Marcos to go home and be safe, Marcos is a real one, and stays by his side to help protect the deli. Just in time too, as a car wrapped in string lights, blaring Party in the USA by Miley Cyrus, comes speeding down the road, stopping in front of them. The little punk girls from earlier step out with AK-47s and dressed all purgy. They even brought backup this time. The main girl demands her candy bar and threatens to kill the rooftop duo if they don't provide it, but Marcos doesn't take kindly to threats and shoots her in the ear. This is enough to scare them away, and the two sit back as Marcos tells Joe how every day in Juarez is like the Purge. Meanwhile, the deli boy's other pal, Lainey, is cruising the streets in her triage van with her friend Dawn, looking for people they can help. They come across many people who can in fact use help, like this guy who gets an arrow to the head, and these people getting guillotined in an alleyway. But unfortunately for them, there's no kind of medications to help these fatal wounds. Back at the senator's house, we find out that Chief Cooper and Eric are actually working for the NFFA and sabotage the plan to keep Senator Roan safe. While Eric stands guard, the chief rewinds all of the cameras to make everything outside look fine, when in fact, everything outside is not fine, as the security guards get killed by a team of mercenaries. Inside, Leo almost catches Eric and the chief and sends them to secure other parts of the house, while he watches the cameras. He does a mic check with his snipers to ensure all is good, but with no response, he quickly figures out the cameras have been tampered with and sees his entire team outside dead. He wastes no time and heads straight to Senator Roan, telling her that they've been betrayed, and they leave through his secret hatch in the floor, then exiting the house through a window. They run into two guards, but Leo hasn't lost a step and kills both of these fools with a push dagger. Eric, the chief, and the mercenaries make it into the senator's room, only to find them gone, but quickly spot them outside running away. A sniper sets up and sprays bullets at them, landing one in Leo's shoulder, but before the sniper can finish the job and kill them, Leo pulls out his phone and activates a remote bomb that he set up in the room, killing the traitors. The two then continue on through the city looking for safety, until they come across a supposed graveyard of bodies. However, as they walk by, the crazy people awake to attack. But Leo goes John Wicky on these fools and kills them. Thinking the coast is clear, they get tased in the back and surrounded by foreigners dressed as presidents. Things are looking heck out of luck as they are getting ready to kill the two. But Joe and Marcos notice this incident from just down the street and show up just in time to mow the foreigners down. Joe directs them back to his deli to take shelter. The senator thanks the two for their heroic acts and listens to their recommendations on how to win the election, Marcos indicating the key is Florida if she wants a real shot at it. After Leo's security perimeter check, Senator Roan demands he sit down so they can clean his wound. After some hesitancy, he finally obliges and lets Marcos clean him up. But then the little punk girls from earlier return with more weapons and backup. Joe calls Lainey to back them up, but she's too busy dealing with her own problems, tending to the sole survivor of a Purge fight, Rondo. So they plan to defend the deli to the best of their ability. With the girls breaking in through the front and back, the crew splits up into duos to defend both entries. But luckily for them, Lainey shows up before they can make it in and plows through these fools. She gets out and finishes the job by blasting a girl, the pig, and Kimmy. What a BA. Joe opens up the door for her, and she's surprised to see the senator is with them. The group plans to evacuate with her in the triage van, but Joe decides to stay behind to defend the deli from the other stinky girls out back. Marcos, however, talks him out of it, saying it's their job to defend the senator now, no matter what it takes, and that they can rebuild the deli together. While the crew drives around and sees typical Purge-related activities out on the streets, the neo-Nazi mercenaries arrive and open fire on them with a mounted minigun. They end up only hitting Rondo, killing him. The crew drives under an overpass to lose the helicopter, only to run into an organized melee gang fight. Leo quickly figures out the bullet lodged in his shoulder has a tracking device, forcing him to extract it. However, this gives the gang enough time to notice the triage van and surround it, trying to get in. Luckily, Joe does a secret crip whistle, which calms the gang outside down enough for the crew to feel comfortable opening the doors to talk. A gang member assures them that they aren't looking to fight, they just want to get medical help for their wounded friend. In exchange, the gang members take the tracking device to another location, so that when the neo-Nazis find it, they get killed by the Crips off-screen for their leader to hear. Lainey then drives to an underground fortress, which is used to keep the homeless safe and off the streets during Purge night. It's run by Dante Bishop, who introduces himself to Charlie Roan and shows her around the area. Although Dante assures Leo that they will do their best to keep Charlie safe, he wanders around until he finds their planning room. They don't like him being in there much, and they get into a little scuffle. But one of Dante's men, Angel, walks in and de-escalates the situation. The senator shows up and finds their plans on the wall, which is an assassination plot against Minister Edwidge Owens. Dante and his men plan on killing him tonight at his safe house, the Our Lady of Sorrow Church. Angel informs her they are going to get inside of the church using old tunnels built by George Washington himself. In theory, that sounds great for her. However, she hates that plan, as the minister will become a martyr. She doesn't want her presidency built on murder, because the Purge is everything she's against. While the two go back and forth, they get interrupted when they notice a swarm of soldiers sent by the NFFA coming in to kill everyone, including Charlie. Well, especially Charlie. Angel lets them out of a back door, but stays behind to fight. Leo and Senator Roan evacuate, calling Laney to pick them up on the other side of this booby-trapped alleyway. They get through the flinging axe, meet back up with the crew, then getting into the triage van. While Senator Roan voices her concerns on how killing the minister is a horrible idea, they get T-boned and flip over. Leo awakes to see the senator getting dragged out of the van. He quickly grabs his pistol and steps out to see the culprits driving away in an armored van. Luckily for him, Laney, along with the guys, offer to help him rescue her. Leo assumes they are taking her to the Our Lady of Sorrow Church, where they are purging at mass to cleanse their souls. The mercenaries and the senator arrive at the church, where a super creepy Purge cleans the senator and wraps her in a special robe. Minister Owens gives a sermon on how important and cleansing it is to purge to a group of rich people. While Leo and his team catch up with Dante, Owens and his followers ritualistically kill a drug addict on stage. While Charlie watches, he then presents Senator Roan on stage. His followers applaud with glee to see their political enemy, and as Owens asks for the congregation to join in attacking Senator Roan, Leo's team sneaks in, stealthily taking out security, then opening fire on the NFFA. They are able to take out most of the founding fathers, but when a new squad of Secret Service agents have them cornered, Dante's team saves the day. On their way out, Charlie again pleads with Dante not to assassinate Minister Owens. Dante ignores her, and as he aims to execute Owens, Owens tries to provoke him to purge, a right given to him by the NFFA. After some hesitancy, Dante decides to take the minister hostage instead. They find a group of future purge victims, and Senator Roan gives Owens a piece of her mind, then giving him a good old kick down below. Although everything seems good and well, the fight's not over. Dante's team goes to the garage, where they are once again ambushed by the neo-Nazis. After Dante's partners are almost killed immediately, Dante is hit by gunfire and maneuvers himself into a car to run over some of the mercenaries as his dying act. Leo then follows behind and gets into a brutal blade fight with the leader of the neo-Nazis, but he eventually gets the upper hand and stabs him, dealing a final blow with a sick roundhouse kick. While Charlie, Joe, Marcos, and Laney are freeing the NFFA's hostages, one of them makes a run for it. When the creepy priest emerges again, he goes to switch guns and shoots at Senator Roan. Joe heroically acts as a human shield and takes several bullets for her, killing the priest in the process. Joe shares a final moment with his friends, then really sadly dies. Aw, sad. I really liked Joe. He had a lot of comedic relief moments throughout the movie. We then cut to May 26th, 2 months after the annual Purge. Marcos watches a newscast stating that Senator Roan did in fact win Florida, just like Marcos had said. The movie ends with Marcos optimistically looking out of Joe's shop window at an American flag, while the news continues that the NFFA supporters are rioting and acting violently in the streets, and the screen cuts to black. Let me know what you guys thought of the Purge election year. Did you like it? Hate it? Let me know down below. Next week, we are going to be covering the 4th installment in the franchise, The First Purge, which acts as a prequel to the entire series, and goes all the way back to the very first experimental Purge. You won't want to miss it, it's a fun one. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you liked the video, drop a like, and if you don't want to miss a video, hit the sub button. Anyways, again, thank you guys, I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.